Well, today I'm doing a what's in my EXO. This is a competition EXO running at the moment, and it's an awesome idea. I've been watching those series of videos for quite a while. Really enjoyed them. I've done similar videos to this in the past, but wanted to give this one a crack and maybe try win something. So without further ado, I'll run through it. Basically, the gear I've got here is what I would take on a 2 to 3 day backpack bow hunt for Sambar deer, which is these guys here. So I'm in Victoria, Australia, can hunt these animals year round. There's no tag system, no limit on what you can take. You can just go nuts if you want to. So I'll run through the gear now. Backbone of every backpack hunt is your backpack. So I've gone the EXO 5500. I went the 5500 because it still compresses really small, and I still use this as my day pack as well. And I can expand the hell out of it and fit all my gear in there. It's comfortable. I live in this thing, and every time I put it on I feel glad that I spent the extra money on something decent. It's definitely the best backpack I've had to date. On the sides here, where I've got my hip pocket pouch accessory, I've got an Outdoor Edge razor blade, and over this side I've got a foldable Stanley knife with a carpet cutting blade in there, and I use that for all my initial cuts for caping. Also attached to this side I've got my rangefinder, which is a Leopold RX 1200, which gives me plenty of range whether I'm rifle hunting or bow hunting, angle compensation, all that sort of stuff, and it's worked well for me in the past. Basically, probably what I would call my safety sort of system. GPS, Garmin Rhino 650. That thing's copped a hiding, still going strong. I use that to waypoint my area or look at the terrain. I've got the topo maps on there, so that's been very handy. Along with that, I also have a spare rangefinder battery. I've been caught out, I was caught out in New Zealand recently where I couldn't get ranges on tar because my rangefinder was too cold. So if I'd had a spare battery, probably wouldn't have been an issue. The head torch, I'm using a Phoenix. I don't know what model this is. It was given to me by a good mate, and it's got two lights. One's a flood, one's a spot. It's been a really good head torch. Takes 4 AAAs. I normally don't carry any spares because my phone has a torch in it, as does the dark energy charger there. So lighting, I'm not too stressed about it if I need to wait until the morning to come out. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Also have a cigarette lighter, never know when you'll need one. First aid kit, I made up myself, and that's just from, I actually got a lot of this stuff from my nan. She used to work in the ambulance. There's compression bandages, gloves, KTI PLB. Hopefully I never have to use that, but you never know. Panadol, Claritine, tape, just usual first aid stuff. There's betadine in there, and that pretty much wraps up the first aid kit. I've never really used the first aid kit ever, so hopefully that trend continues. Also carry these, it's called an Aussie Snake and Spider Bite kit. I've carried one of these ever since they sort of started up, and it's just 2 compression bandages and a triangle bandage in there, a little label saying, if I can get it out, what to do in the event of a snake bite, which in Australia, in Victoria, it's not something that's common, but I see a lot of snakes when I'm hunting in the warmer months. So, and I mean, there's still snakes around this time of the year, so just can't be too careful. Right, optics. These are my go-to bino, the Swaro SLC 10x42 HDs, and they live in the marsupial bino harness, and I take them absolutely everywhere. They never get left behind. If I'm in big country and want a little bit more power, I use the Miopta Meostar 15s, and tell you what, I've compared these to Swaro 15s, and there's not much difference considering the price difference. So if you're after 15s, have a look at the Mioptas, because I was very impressed, and my mate with his Swaro 15s was a little bit disheartened, I think, because I don't know if he saw the value difference when we were out hunting. So Miop the 15s, they sometimes come with me, they sometimes don't, it varies. Now, we'll go on to food. This is something, it's probably going to be a lot different to what a lot of people do, and it's something I've been trying with probably for the last 6-7 months, and I do have some food here of what I would take, but if I'm doing an overnighter, I don't take any food at all. I take no food. I've been basically doing intermittent fasting, and out hunting I find that I'm not that hungry anyway. My mind is on these guys here, so I'm not worried about food, and the human body can go a long time without food. So the less food I take, it means generally I can carry more water, and I don't have to worry about food. It's quick and easy to pack. If I finish work and I want to go backpacking, I'm not worrying about what food am I taking, what am I going to eat, I just go. I think a lot of people overcomplicate backpacking. It's really not rocket science. It's pretty straightforward, and food's one of those things where people carry cooking systems and dehydrated meals. I don't carry any of that. If I do take food, and on a 2-nighter, I will generally take a little bit for the second day. I'm taking things like trail mix, pre-cooked rice, tuna, peanut bars, anything that doesn't need cooking or heating or anything like that. That's what I'll take. I used to look at the calorie content and all that. I don't bother with that anymore. I just chuck in a bit of that stuff and I'm good to go. Right, moving on. It's my camera bag, which I'm videoing with the Sony RX10 Mark IV, and it's got a little Rode micro video mic on there, and it's on a Polaroid 65-inch carbon tripod. So that's my videoing setup. I can't show you because I'm videoing with it now, but that does all I need it to do. And in here I just keep spare SD cards, spare batteries, things like that. To charge that and my phone, the camera and my phone, I use a dark energy charger. Now this thing's pretty damn awesome for the weight of it, the amount of charges I get. It's basically bomb proof. It's been a very good charger, and I always take that backpacking. Moving on, trekking poles. I'm using the Halinox, what are they? Ridgeline 135s, and these were given to me by my partner's parents, and they're bloody awesome. They're just an aluminium pole. They're not super lightweight, but they're damn strong, and I've abused the crap out of them in New Zealand recently, and they're still going strong. They still do what they need to do. This is one thing that I don't know if I've seen mentioned in one of these videos yet, and I obviously don't need them for bow hunting, but if I'm rifle hunting, I take these. None of my rifles have muzzle brakes, but it's amazing what difference been if these are just around your neck and you can chuck them in. Save your hearing, you've only got one set of ears, so I always take them if I'm rifle hunting. Right, I may as well go on to boots because they're right here. At the moment I'm trialling 2 pairs of Lowers. I've got the Ranger GTXs and the Irox, and at the moment I can't work out which ones I like more. The Irox are a lighter boot, the sole's a lot softer. I personally think they're a lot quieter to stalk in, and I typically wear these when bow hunting. However, I think the Rangers are a tougher boot, and they're a little bit heavier, a little bit softer. I don't think they're quite as stiff, but I feel like they're just a tougher boot. They're probably going to last me longer, and they're really comfortable straight out of the box. So in regards to boots, I just make up my mind on the day generally, but for bow hunting in this case I'd probably say I'd take the Irox. Moving on to the bow, I'm using I think it's a 2017 or 2016 Obsession Fusion 6, can't remember what model it is, what year it is. It's 80 pound, and I'm shooting 534 grain arrows, and we've chronoed them at about 280 feet a second. So they're, for a heavy arrow, they're humming out. I'm using native heat seek arrows and Ozcut takedown 2 blades. They're 150 grain heads. And Ozcut have recently just released a 4 blade, and I have used one of the prototypes on a Sambar before, and let me say it worked very well. So that's what I'm running bow wise. Release is a Spot Hog Wise Guy. Chuck that over here for now. Lucy Lantern, always take that. I just sit that up in the tent at night. It's solar powered, lightweight, takes up no room, so that's a good bit of lighting at night. I'll give you a little bit of footage of Remy in a minute. Remy's my German Whitehair pointer, and when she comes hunting with me, I've got to think of her. So she has her dog bowl, which she'll eat or drink out of. I normally take just a normal serving amount of food. I carry that myself. I don't actually have any here to give you the idea of that, but basically I carry her food. She doesn't carry anything. She's just there to hunt and have fun. For water, I normally take 1.5 litres a day, roughly. I don't carry a filter system other than a life straw. So I normally just carry in a lot of water. So normally 1.5 litres a day. That's the lower limit depending how warm it is, because I've also got to factor in that Remy's going to drink water as well. So I normally allow about 1 litre for myself, 500 ml for her, depending, because sometimes we find little creeks, she can drink whatever she wants. Also carry a boning saw, so whether that's to skull cap a Sambar or whatnot, you never know when a saw is going to come in handy. It's pretty lightweight, just from Bunnings. It's like a hardware store, a couple of bucks, and it's done its job so far. Moving on now, sleep system. Same thing, nothing overcomplicated. For the sleeping bag, I'm running a Van Gogh Venom down bag. I'm not sure of the rating. I know it does get cold when it's winter and -8 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's getting down there. It's pretty cold. The last backpack hunt I did was -8 and it was very cold. Also run it with a Cedar Summit sleeping bag liner. That works quite well. And I'm sleeping on a Thermarest X-Lite. This is an awesome pad. It's like 370 grams or something like that. It's the full length regular size. I've tried one of the 3/4 length ones where your feet hang off the edge. They suck in my opinion. I would never ever buy one again. Sleep's one of those things where if you don't sleep well when you're hunting, it's not really a good time. And I've slept in some pretty bad spots before, so it's nice having a good mat. Tent, I'm using a QU Mountain Star 2-person tent. So I've just started using this tent. I've only used it a couple of times. So far so good. We had a warranty issue with the first one. QU replaced that with no dramas, and this one's been good so far, so no complaints there. Clothing. We've got Tusk Stone shirt. It's almost a necessity for me. It's just a really light, breathable shirt that doesn't matter what time of the year, it's pretty much always on me. Tusk bolter jacket. This thing only really comes out this time of the year when it's cold. Over the warmer months, I don't even bring a jumper with me generally, so that there, it sort of depends on the climate whether I'm taking it or not. For base layer, at the moment, I'm just using some cheap merino pants and top thermal. Pants, at the moment I wear the Tusk Boulder and the Solomon Wayfarers. For puffy, I'm using the North Face Thermoball, so it's a synthetic puffy. Works really well, it's light, compressor's pretty small, and I use it as a pillow if I need to. Then the bomb shelter. This is the Swazi Tar Anorak, and anyone that knows these jackets knows they're not the lightest jacket in the world, but they are super long, they cover your butt when you're glassing, tough as, never been wet in it, and this is one of those things that I don't take all the time. It has to be absolute crappy, cold, miserable, rainy weather for me to take that. But when I do take it, I'm always glad that I've got it, because it's just one of those jackets that could potentially save your life. And this is the final piece to the puzzle. This is Remy. I've just got her out of bed literally for this video. And she's my hunting buddy. So if I'm not hunting with them, even if I'm hunting with mates, she's coming along with me. And she loves backpacking. She sleeps in the tent and helps me find deer, especially if I've got a shot. She helps blood trail. She's just a good company to have. Well, that's it. So hopefully someone's found that helpful. I'm not going to worry about jamming it all in the backpack and weighing it. I don't normally weigh my backpack before I go hunting. It is what it is. Whatever the weight it is, that's what I'm going to carry. I don't stress about the weight and gram counting. It's not that big of a deal. As I said, I like to keep things pretty simple in my approach, and that's what works for me. So thanks again, EXO, for running this competition.